February 18, 2026. Finally, Roman Reigns makes an attack on CM Punk. Seth Rollins attacks both of them. Roman Reigns attacking CM Punk on February 18, 2026 should have been the continuation of their brutal war, but what makes this absolutely infuriating is that Seth Rollins, the man who betrayed the Shield to join the final dynasty, attacked both Roman and Punk, revealing that Seth has been playing everyone for months and is actually working for Paul Heyman's vision as a triple agent whose real mission is destroying both the final dynasty and the resistance. And here's what's going to make you lose your mind: the three-way brawl that erupted wasn't just physical violence, it was Seth exposing secrets about Roman's insecurities and Punk's failures that were so personal and devastating that both men were left psychologically broken, proving that Seth's betrayals go deeper than anyone imagined and that his endgame involves burning down everything WWE has built just to prove he's the smartest person in the room. Because this wasn't a simple attack, this was Seth Rollins revealing he's been manipulating the final dynasty, the Shield reunion, and the Vision simultaneously, playing all sides against each other while positioning himself as the ultimate wildcard who answers to nobody and will destroy anyone who gets in his way, including his former brothers. The February 18 episode of Raw opened with CM Punk in the ring cutting a promo about his ongoing war with the final dynasty. Punk was fired up, talking about how despite being hospitalized multiple times, despite being beaten down repeatedly, he refuses to quit fighting against Roman's tyranny. Punk: Roman Reigns thinks he can break me through violence. The final dynasty thinks they can intimidate me into silence. But I've been broken before by this company, by injuries, by my own pride. And every time, I came back stronger. So Roman, if you want to finish what you started, come out here right now and let's. Roman's music hit, and the tribal chief walked out with his typical confidence, but there was something different in his demeanor. Roman looked tired, not physically, but psychologically exhausted from months of maintaining his empire while everyone challenges his authority. Roman grabbed a microphone. Punk, you want me to come finish you? I've finished you 3 times already. I put you in the hospital after our first brawl. I nearly ended your career when you stupidly competed injured against the demon. And I've systematically destroyed every alliance you've tried to build. At what point do you realize you're not a threat, you're just persistent? Punk fired back: the difference between persistence and threat, Roman? Threats can be eliminated. Persistent people keep coming back no matter how many times you put them down. You can hospitalize me, you can beat me, you can have your entire faction jump me, but you can't make me quit. And that terrifies you because your entire power structure is built on making people quit through fear. Roman's face showed genuine anger because Punk was articulating a truth. Roman doesn't want to admit that his control is fragile, maintained through constant violence rather than genuine respect or loyalty. Roman started walking toward the ring. You want to talk about fear, Punk? Let me show you what real fear looks like when someone who's tired of your self-righteous speeches decides to shut you up permanently. But before Roman could reach the ring, Seth Rollins' music hit. The crowd's reaction was immediate hatred because Seth is viewed as the ultimate traitor, the man who betrayed the Shield, aligned with the final dynasty, and has been instrumental in destroying everyone who opposes Roman. Seth walked out, and both Roman and Punk looked confused about why Seth was interrupting this confrontation. Seth grabbed a microphone and what he said next made the entire arena go silent. You both are so focused on your little war that you haven't realized you're both pawns in a game neither of you understand. Seth entered the ring, positioning himself between Roman and Punk, and delivered a promo that exposed secrets about both men that changed everything. Roman, you think I betrayed the Shield to join your final dynasty? I joined the final dynasty to get close to you, to study you, to understand every insecurity, every weakness, every psychological crack in your armor. And you know what I discovered? The tribal chief is terrified. Terrified that without Paul Heyman's manipulation and the rock star power, you're just another good wrestler who got pushed because of your family name. Roman's face went red with rage, but Seth continued: and Paul Heyman? He's been using you, Roman. You think you're in control? Heyman has been feeding information about the final dynasty to me so I could pass it to the Vision. You're not the mastermind, you're the distraction while Heyman builds something that will replace you. Then Seth turned to Punk: and you, Punk, the self-righteous voice of the voiceless who came back to WWE to fight corruption. Want to know why you keep losing? Because you're fighting battles that don't matter. While you're focused on Roman and the final dynasty, you're ignoring that the Vision, the real power in WWE, has been growing stronger. And when they take over at Elimination Chamber, your little resistance will be irrelevant. Punk looked stunned. So you've been working for Heyman and the Vision this whole time? You betrayed the Shield for them. Seth's smile was sinister. I didn't betray the Shield for anyone. I'm not working for the final dynasty. I'm not working for the Vision. I'm working for myself. I've been playing all of you, Roman, Punk, Heyman, The Rock, everyone against each other, because when you're all destroying each other, the last man standing becomes the most powerful person in WWE. Then Seth did something that proved his sociopathic planning. He pulled out his phone and played recordings of private conversations he'd secretly captured. Roman talking to Rock about being tired of carrying people who don't appreciate him. Punk telling Dean Ambrose that he's not sure the Resistance can actually win. Paul Heyman instructing Seth to make Roman feel secure while we prepare his replacement. The Rock discussing exit strategies if the final dynasty fails. These weren't work shoot promo lines, these were real conversations that Seth had recorded without permission, exposing genuine vulnerabilities and doubts from everyone involved in WWE's major storylines. The crowd was in shock because this crossed the line from wrestling storyline into actual betrayal of trust. Roman and Punk both looked absolutely devastated, not just angry, but psychologically wounded by having their private insecurities exposed on live television. Roman snapped. He dropped his microphone and charged at Seth with pure rage. But Seth was ready. He dodged Roman's Superman punch attempt and hit him with a super kick that caught Roman flush on the jaw. As Roman stumbled, Seth grabbed him and delivered a curb stomp, his finishing move, with such force that Roman's face bounced off the mat sickeningly. The crowd gasped because seeing Roman, the untouchable tribal chief, get destroyed by Seth created cognitive dissonance. But Seth wasn't done with Roman. He grabbed a steel chair from ringside and started beating Roman with it, not wrestling chair shots, but brutal strikes aimed at Roman's already injured ribs, his back, his legs. Seth was systematically destroying Roman while screaming at him, "You're not special, Roman. You're a product. A marketing campaign. And I'm going to expose you as the fraud you've always been." CM Punk, despite his own injuries and issues with Roman, couldn't watch this level of brutality without intervening. Punk grabbed Seth and pulled him off Roman, and the two former Shield brothers came face to face. "Punk, Seth, what the hell are you doing? This isn't strategy, this is insanity." Seth's response was ice cold. "Insanity is fighting for causes you can't win, Punk. Insanity is coming back to a company that used you, abused you, and will discard you again the second you're no longer profitable. At least I'm honest about being out for myself." Then Seth attacked Punk, hitting him with a pedigree, Triple H's move, adding insult to injury, that left Punk laid out next to Roman. And Seth stood over both men, laughing maniacally while commentary tried desperately to make sense of what was happening. The final Dynasty's music hit, and Jacob Fatu, The Rock, Cody Rhodes, and Finn Balor rushed to the ring, presumably to save their faction, made Roman and punish Seth for this attack. But when they reached the ring, Seth did something unexpected. He grabbed a microphone and said, "Before you attack me, ask yourselves, do you really want to be part of Roman's sinking ship? Or do you want to hear about the offer Paul Heyman and the Vision are extending to all of you?" The final Dynasty members stopped. The Rock's face showed intrigue. Cody looked conflicted. Even Jacob Fatu, typically Roman's most loyal soldier, hesitated. Seth continued, "The Vision is offering each of you positions of real power. Not as Roman's servants, but as equals in an organization that actually values your abilities. Roman has been holding all of you back to protect his own position. But the Vision? They want the best, regardless of politics or egos." This created absolute chaos because Seth was actively trying to dismantle the final Dynasty by recruiting its members right in front of Roman, and some of them looked genuinely tempted by the offer. What followed was pure chaos that lasted over 20 minutes of Raw's broadcast. Roman recovered and attacked Seth with renewed fury. Punk recovered and started fighting both Roman and Seth. The final Dynasty members started fighting each other about whether to help Roman or consider Seth's offer. The Vision, Braun Breaker, Gunther, Rhea Ripley, Kenny Omega, appeared on the stage, watching the chaos with satisfaction. Dean Ambrose and other Resistance members rushed out to help Punk. Bobby Lashley appeared to attack everyone as his revenge mission continues. The ring, the ringside area, the ramp, everywhere was consumed by brawling. Security couldn't control it. Referees were helpless. WWE officials were screaming for order, but nobody was listening. And in the middle of all this chaos, Seth Rollins was laughing, standing on the announce table, watching the destruction he'd caused, looking absolutely satisfied that his manipulation had created this level of disorder. Raw ended with a striking visual. Roman Reigns and CM Punk, both bloodied and exhausted, temporarily stopped fighting each other to look at Seth Rollins. And in that moment, there was this understanding between them that despite their war, despite their hatred for each other, Seth Rollins had become a threat so significant that he might require them to work together. Seth caught this look and spoke one final time, "That's right. Look at each other. Realize you might have to team up to stop me. Because I'm not just playing chess, I'm playing 4D chess while you're all playing checkers. And at Elimination Chamber, when everything comes to a head, you're all going to realize that Seth freaking Rollins is the only person in WWE who's been in control this entire time." Then Seth's music hit, and he walked up the ramp backwards, maintaining eye contact with both Roman and Punk, smiling the entire time like a man who'd just executed the perfect plan. The final shot was Roman and Punk in the ring, both broken, both betrayed, both realizing that their enemy isn't just each other, it's the architect who's been manipulating them both for months. This segment creates massive implications heading into Elimination Chamber. For Roman, his authority is shattered. His faction is questioning loyalty. His secrets are exposed. And his former brother just proved Roman's power is more fragile than anyone realized. For Punk, his resistance has been revealed as potentially futile. His private doubts are now public. And his former Shield brother is playing games Punk doesn't fully understand. For Seth, he's positioned himself as WWE's ultimate wildcard, not aligned with any faction, willing to destroy everyone, and potentially the smartest manipulator in the company. For the final dynasty, internal fractures are forming as members question whether Roman's leadership is worth maintaining or if Seth's Vision offer is more appealing. For the Vision, they're watching their chaos agent, Seth, successfully destroying both major opposing forces without the Vision having to get directly involved. For Elimination Chamber, the match is no longer just about qualifying or winning, it's about survival in an environment where everyone has multiple enemies and no one can be trusted. Roman Reigns attacked CM Punk on February 18, 2026, but Seth Rollins attacked both of them, revealing he's been playing everyone as a triple agent working for himself, exposing private conversations that psychologically destroyed both Roman and Punk, and offering the final dynasty members positions in the Vision to fracture Roman's empire from within. The three-way brawl that consumed Raw proved that WWE's entire power structure is collapsing as Seth's manipulation creates chaos that benefits nobody except himself. Roman's secrets are exposed. Punk's doubts are public. Seth's true allegiance is chaos itself. An Elimination Chamber is now a powder keg where multiple factions, personal vendettas, and Seth's ongoing manipulation will create the most unpredictable match in WWE history. What's your take? Is Seth the ultimate mastermind or just insane? Can Roman and Punk ever work together? Will the final dynasty survive internal fractures? Explode in the comments, because this is the most complex storyline WWE has done in years. If this breakdown connected all the pieces, destroy that like button and share everywhere. Subscribe to Wrestling News CC, because Seth's endgame is still unfolding and Elimination Chamber will be absolute chaos. Roman attacked Punk, Seth attacked everyone, and wrestling just witnessed the architect become the destroyer.